Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Eid Mubarak to all of you watching. I'm Omar Khalid Butt. We are at PTV World, and here we are celebrating Eid al-Khuwat, the Eid of brotherhood, with all of you viewers across the world. This is a tradition that has always been here on our state channel, to be here with our fellow anchors, with guests, and of course discuss different aspects of Eid and also a bit of their lives as well. We will divulge a lot of that in the minutes to come, so stay tuned for that. Nevertheless, I hope your Eid is going fine. You've had lots of good food to eat, lots of family members and friends that you've met, and lots of good sweets that you've also had, whether it be ice cream or rasmalai or sevaiya, and the list goes on and on. Once we start Eid, I can't stop myself from eating, and we always tend to gain a lot of weight with that. So we need to be careful. And I think a lot of you might agree or disagree with that. Nevertheless, let's move on with the show. We have a nice couple of guests that we've arranged for you for this show, and we will be having a lot of fun through games, through discussions, and through some secrets that we will be revealing about our guests. Let me introduce my guests to you one by one. On my left is my first guest. He's been my guest for many shows on many serious topics, especially international topics. We have had a very serious tune about our relationship, our professional relationship as well. But I wanted to change that. I said, let's break some barriers and let's be a bit semi-formal or informal, and that is why I insisted that he come here with his spouse. So here he is, Ambassador Jauhar Saleem. He is a former foreign secretary. He's currently heading an organization, a think tank called the IRS, and he's been Pakistan's ambassador to many important countries, whether it be Italy, Germany, Bosnia, and the list goes on and on. Thank you very much, Jauhar Saleem Saab, to have given us the time. Of course, Jauhar Saleem Saab comes with his better half, Zara Jauhar. And Zara Jauhar, of course, has been a pillar of strength. This is what I understand. Although we haven't interacted much, but through the body language that she exudes, I've always seen a woman of character, a woman of strength, a woman who has stood by her man through the good and the bad. And that is what I appreciate in women, because they might be on, seems that if they don't are not as proactive, but in fact, most of the women run the households and run the families. At least when it comes to mine, I've seen that in many an example. Zara, thank you very much to have joined us.
Thank you so much for inviting us, and Eid Mubarak.
Khair Mubarak, of course. And you look, mashallah, very pretty.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right. And my third guest is a financial expert, a sustainability expert. She is the head of Women Financial Services and Sustainability for a leading bank in Pakistan. She's none other than Quratulain Chaudhary, but I've also known you for a very long time, Qurat. And it's so good that we finally get to talk, and I get to bring you on television, because we've met at so many GTs and so on. And I've always been very interested in what you have to say on women's inclusion, on sustainability, on your work as well. And I feel really proud to know you as one who's always been very proactive, and how should I say, it seems as if you work 24/7, to say the least. So, Eid Mubarak, Qurat, and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm really glad that I'm part of the show, and I'm part of the, you've called me over here, and of course, Eid Mubarak, and I'm very happy that I'm here on Eid Day.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you to be here. My next guest, ladies and gentlemen, is somebody I've known literally since decades. She and her siblings have grown up with my younger brother, and I've seen her from a toddler to a beautiful young woman. She has attained so many impossibles in her life and continues to do that. If I had to describe that in one show, would take a lot of time. And maybe we should do a specific show with her as the guest, as I used to do Sky's the Limit. Nevertheless, I thought this would be the right occasion to also bring her to tell the world how beautiful a person she is inside out, and how talented she is as well. She's a musician, ladies and gentlemen. She has taken out various albums. They are on Spotify, they are on iTunes, and she's garnered a lot of success through that. She studied in different parts of the world as far as her music is concerned. She's also a wonderful actor and a choreographer. She's done a lot of theatre with my younger brother over the years, and I've always admired her for her passion, for her zest, and for that desire to always try to better herself and be a better person and professional. Natasha, Humera, Ejaz, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much. Dili Eid Mubarak.
Thank you.
And I should take you everywhere I go. I
be
need
your
that
manager.
introduction. Yeah, I need that introduction everywhere I go. Thank you so much, and Eid Mubarak to everybody.
All right, my last guest, but not the least. I mean, they always say that, but literally not the least. This is a person. When I got to know him, I was fascinated by the fact that he knew 8 languages. He mastered 8 languages. To top it all, he's a PhD. He's a political economist, and he's a chilled guy, and he's a musician, and he's taking out an album, or has taken out an album recently. He plays the sitar, and he dabbles in so many things that I don't know where he gets time to sleep. But this is what his mother has always told me, that this person, I don't know how he does in the 24 hours, but he does, and he does it very well. He's been my guest on my shows many a times. We've talked about politics, we've talked about economy, and but there is so much more to him, than economy, and that is why we wanted to bring him to this show and try to make this, discover through this show the different talents that he is also a master at. Dr. Usman Chohan, thank you to the show.
Thank you
for have come to the show.
Thank you for having me. Eid Mubarak to everybody.
Khair Mubarak, Usman. Okay, so let's begin the show, and we always start with a little bit of introduction so that you, the audience, can understand where all these people are coming from and why they are on my show. You might ask a question. So let's begin. Jauhar Saab, so many different postings as an ambassador in Europe, in places like Bosnia as well. Pakistan's image building is something that we've always talked about in our different shows, and I think that is what one of your major roles as well is to highlight Pakistan's image, to improve Pakistan's image in all the countries that you've been. Does it come naturally to you, or do you have to work hard at it?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, and like I've been known in the Foreign Office and outside it as one of those diplomats who are particularly fond of cultural diplomacy and public diplomacy. And I believed in it. I believed that it was very important for Pakistan. It still is very important for Pakistan because in the world today, which is a world of brands, it's not just the brands about products and services. It's all the brands or country brands. And when you don't really have a good country brand, you don't attract the trade that you need. You don't attract the investment that you need. You don't really have the tourism that you need. The other countries don't want to have, close relations with you that we all need. You have to be in the global loop to develop these days. So that is why during my sort of, tenure as ambassador in so many different countries, I've always tried that besides the political diplomacy and the economic diplomacy, there's a lot of emphasis on cultural diplomacy. And I must say that my spouse here, Zara, she has been a great source of strength in that way.
Zara, I'd like to understand how important you felt cultural diplomacy is, and specifically on, for example, occasions such as Eid, where you can dress up and people are so enamored by you. Already he has told, your husband has told us how enamored the different people in the countries were by the way you exude yourself and your personality as well. For example, events such as Eid, when I'm sure a lot of other ambassadors, a lot of other ministers and their spouses must have come. What are the basic ingredients that you have always included for them to understand Pakistan in a better manner?
Our first posting as an ambassador was to Bosnia. And as you know, that especially Sarajevo, the capital, has mostly Muslims. So in Eid festival, they are quite similar with us. For example, we have Chandrat, they also celebrate Chandrat.
Okay.
And on Eid day, they also celebrate Eid with their family and then friends. So they are quite similar and they understand the culture, right? And our second posting was in Bahrain, and again, Bahrain, Middle East, they know our culture very well, and they were also celebrating in our way. But Germany was different because it's a Christian country, and they don't celebrate it, but they do respect our culture, and they do, wish us Eid, or they do wanted to meet us, or we always had an open houses on Eid day at our Pakistan residence, and we invited all the ambassadors and the foreign ministers and some ministers over there to just show them our culture, because in that way, as you said, that we can through culture we can show our what we are.
And who we are and what we represent.
Yeah, and I also made wherever I live, and I also, my preference is to make friends there, because when you know the local there very well, and then they know you very well, in that way they wanted to know what Pakistan actually is, and you are the only one who can show them the real image of Pakistan. So I believe when the local, like for example my friends, they are still in touch with me from Bosnia, from Bahrain, some local Arabs, so they are asking me if something is happening here, some like a good event or our wedding, shadi, and they are quite interested in that. They said, oh, I feel like that they wanted to be a part of this. And some of them, they are telling me, we really wanted to attend Pakistani's wedding, and either it's a very good festival. So I think in that way we can spread our culture.
Coming to you, Quratulain, you have had a very robust career over all this time, but the fact is that I've always seen you to be very passionate. Are you as passionate about celebrating Eid and celebrating all the good festivals that Pakistan has had? And when I look at your curriculum, and you are the head of Women Financial Services, how important is women empowerment, and how can we link women empowerment with important festivals such as Eid, in your point of view?
Well, Omar, I really do feel very passionate about women empowerment, because I just totally feel that 50% of our population is females. So any country, I don't think, or any nation can excel or do better unless and until the women are financially included or they're empowered. So when we talk about women empowerment, I just feel that there are very different definitions that people have, but I just feel that every woman should have the right to make a decision. And because obviously I come from the financial sector, I really believe that being financially independent totally does change a woman's whole life, and she can contribute to the family and to the economy of the country. So recently, the reason why I chose to dwell into this more was because being at a position where I was approached by a lot of women, and then they wanted information about the finances or loans to start their business, or to maybe expand that. So, I mean, seeing them from the time that they used to come to get the initial information to the time that they got the loan or they started their business and they used to come to do any sort of transaction, I saw a complete change from their body language, the way they dressed up, the way they were talked, the way their whole thinking changed. So I really feel that, we have such enterprising and such intelligent women all over the world, but especially if we talk about Pakistan. So, if we just give them that, we support them or we empower them in that way, so it really helps. And I feel that because of that awareness and empowerment, I think a woman, when she wants to contribute, it's not just for herself, it's always about the family. She wants to look after the health of her family, the education of the family. So it's complete circle that is over there, and I feel that it is very, very important to empower women. And I personally, because being raised by a single mother, and then obviously working from a very young age, and I've been very self-made, so I really feel that that has really shaped me to become the person that I am.
Coming to you, I've known you for such a long time. I don't know how to start this conversation. Anyways, you were recently in Nepal. Yes. You spent a lot of months there, searching yourself and learning music in the bargain as well. How important do you feel is soul searching for a person, a musician, or any other such person? And how does Eid or Ramzan before that reflect on that soul searching process?
Ramzan is one of my favorite months in the year for this reason, apart from my birthday month, which is January. Ramzan is so incredible that way, where you get that time off to not just reflect, but also take a minute to sort of watch what happens inside us, when, what happens in an internal world when you're interacting with the external world. It's a really beautiful, I think that's the most exciting thing about life for me. And for me, I don't think you have to go to Nepal to soul search. You can do it within Pakistan. Actually, I also do a lot of soul searching in Hunza. And I think especially for women, just to add to what Quratulain was saying, is that girls and women really, really, really can benefit from looking into themselves and finding strength in themselves to see what it is that they're capable of, because you're absolutely right. I actually think every human, as long as they have it in their head, they can do whatever they
Exactly.
want.
Everybody has a potential. You just have to explore that potential. As Usman Chohan has explored his potentials in the language arena, you know. That is so. I mean, I would love to put you in different parts of the world and then celebrate Eid with the Pakistanis in those communities and see how they do it. You know, you're also the child of diplomats. You know, I've interacted with your mother many a times. She's a former ambassador as well. How has it been for you in different places of the world and then celebrating Eid? Has your experience of Eid been different in different countries? Is it as joyful as it is when you are back in Pakistan? And for you, what is Eid?
You know, Eid is a beautiful occasion no matter where you are. But I think the most important ingredient in Eid is family. And your family is very small when you live somewhere else. And here the family is very vast. Sometimes you don't even know your family is just so large. And that joyful contribution, I think, is a big part of why Pakistan is the best place to celebrate it. If you celebrate it, as Ambassador Saab and Madam Zara were saying, if you're in a Muslim country, it has different dynamics. And it's nice because they may have some additional traditions. For example, the Malaysian people have a Hari Raya. It's very nice. When you're in a secular or non-Muslim country, one that doesn't have majoritarian Eid celebration, as long as they can accommodate you, it's nice. If there's a Pakistani community, it's nice. But then there's also places where none of that exists. And then it's just you and your tiny family via Skype or something doing it, and it's just not the same. And your second question is, what does Eid mean to me? I got the impression of this much later in life, but Eid is the culmination of Ramzan. In Ramzan, and we're not supposed to do economy today, but this is economy. Ramzan is supposed to teach you a very important lesson as an economist or as a normal person too, about what it's like to be poor. Because we're not poor sitting here. But when you are hungry, you realize that your biochemistry changes, your psychology changes in ways that a poor person deals with all the time. When you are fasting, your attention span becomes very tiny. Your patience shrinks very much. You cannot even think of anything beyond your next meal. And so we understand what that's like. So we learn that we should chill out a little bit and go a little easy on the less fortunate, because being in that condition, you cannot expect them to act as rationally or as long-term or as soberly as a well-fed person. That is then Eid, where you say, I have learned a lesson about the human condition.
I totally agree with you on that. And I think there's so many perspectives on what Eid is. I think it's sometimes individual, but sometimes I feel Eid is a collective festival that you spend with your friends and family. You interact with them, you leave behind the different negativities that you've had with people, and you still sit down with them and thaw out the differences. You have a good time, you eat a lot. I mean, this is what we've seen.
But I also think it's a really good time to learn a reward system. Like it's it's a good lesson to have in life.
Well, you know, speaking of rewards, Ambassador Saab, did you bring Eid for me? You know, this is one thing I've totally forgot to ask Ambassador Saab, and he needs to bring a chunk of notes for Eid for me. But I forgot. But being a diplomat, I know he is going to maneuver himself out of the situation in a very easy manner.
I thought my coming here is an Eid.
Oh, all right. Okay. We'll leave it at that. All right. So I'm going to now come to our first question and answer session. This is going to be a bit lighter, and I want a very impromptu answer whenever I ask. I want you to tell me in yes or no whether you have had this or not, whether you've gone through this or not. So I think we need to now move towards something that's lighter. We have lots of games. I should have put the games, and let's put it interactive, immersive discussions, as Ambassador Saab would always try to change the way he talks about it and make them so fluid and so good to listen to, just like Usman does when he talks of economy. Sometimes I feel as if he's talking about poetry. In fact, he's talking about economy, but he knows how to juggle with words, and that is something, that is a trait that not many have, and I'm sure all of you must agree with me on that. I'm going to ask a question from each of you, and I'm going to question what is the first thing that comes to your mind after listening to these words or phrases? I'll begin with you, Zara. Pakistani street food.
Unhygienic.
Unhygienic. Jauhar Saab, wedding season.
Mehndi.
Oh, Quratulain, favorite Pakistani heroes.
There are many. Yeah. Your brother being one.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I should be flattered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
okay,
I'll
so
say
many.
one,
Okay,
yeah.
Tasha, Lahore food adventures.
Oh, fun.
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 Just fun.
I mean, one word you said, right? Could I share a thought?
First thing, you can share a thought as well. It doesn't just have to be relegated to a word.
Okay, just really diverse and fun. And I tried something called Chinese chips. They have these now. Do you know what this is?
No, what is this?
They make fries with like chow mein.
Oh, wow.
It's like chow mein and fries. It was really good.
Where did you have
In
this?
Lahore?
In Lahore.
Oh,
It's called
okay.
Exo
We-
Chinese,
Interesting.
and it's like
We should
fries
try.
and Chinese food.
Okay, I
So
think we
all
should
your
have it.
favorite
We have to
Chinese
try.
dishes with fries on top.
Okay.
It was really good.
A
It was
bit
really
too
good.
much on the calories, but maybe
It's okay, it's Eid.
okay.
Once a time we can have it.
Eid.
Once a time,
We
okay.
can have it.
Usman, delicious desi sweets. The first thing that comes to your mind.
The rasgulla. Oh, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm
For
saying.
me, it's always kulfi faluda. You know.
Okay.
I have this thing for faluda. Whenever I've gone to Lahore, we've always gone to the Purani Anarkali, and there's one faluda shop that's open 24/7, and we always go there. But when I was a kid, my father used to always take us there whenever we used to go to Lahore for Eid, and first thing that we used to do after entering Lahore, before we even went to my grandparents or to my pupos, that was going to have that kulfi faluda.
Very nice.
And that is what I associate always Lahore and sometimes Eid with is kulfi faluda. All right. Quratulain, Eid festivities, first thing that comes to your mind.
Mehndi, bangles, Chandrat, basically. You know.
Okay, where are your bangles today? By the way, I see the
Not
rings,
today.
I
Yes,
see
I'm
the
wearing my
nail
ring,
polish,
yeah.
but I don't see the bangles today. Zara was good enough. She put on her bangles today.
I was actually admiring her bangles sitting over here. Yeah, look
She
very
always
nice.
Thank
tip,
you.
Yes.
she knows how to.
Yes.
And I think that also serves being a wife of an ambassador on how to dress up for the occasion as well. You know. All right, Jauhar Saab, beloved Pakistani poets. The first thing that comes to your mind.
Faz, of course, you know, like Faz Ahmed Faraz, Munir Niaz. There's so many of them, you know. And I would say here that because I'm so fond of poetry. So
That I
wherever
did not know, so I've asked the right person the right question.
So wherever I got the chance, and I got that chance, I think the most often when I was ambassador to Bahrain, we did, we organized mushairas there, where the best available poets, because a lot of those, unfortunately, some of our iconic poets are no longer with us.
Unfortunately.
But Iftikhar Arif and Shakil Azmi from India, and many, many other poets were there. And in a mushaira, the tradition is that the best poets or the most iconic poets, they recite their poetry at the end, And by that time, most of the people have left, because sometimes it would be 12 or 1 a.m. But I would stick there because, I was so interested. And they would be surprised. They would say that, normally ambassadors don't do that. But I would sit in a mushaira for 4, 5, 6 hours to listen to all the poets.
Oh, I like it because, we've had this, my father was the Director General of PNC. He started the organization with Faiz Ahmed Faiz Saab. And as a kid, I always remember these gatherings that my father used to have, and I was so perturbed. I said, why is this sound so much coming? We had Nusrat Fateh Ali, we had Farida Khanum, we had every big musician come to our, and they used to sing at our place all night long. Everybody used to come, and I was saying, I can't sleep as a kid. This was the only thought that used to come in my mind. Why can't I sleep? Why are they, humming this sound so much in the night? But I learned to experience and I learned to cherish poetry and music over the years, and this is what Pakistan is famous for as well, and that is what we need to, as custodians of our country and as ambassadors, as all of you are in one way or the other.
And Iqbal, for example, is is such a name in Bosnia. He's so well known. In Turkey, he's so well known. In Iran, in Germany, he's well known. There's a street named after him. Exactly.
Yes, in Germany.
Yeah. In Bosnia, the president there was a big fan of Iqbal. The president's father, who's their leader of their independence, Ali Aziz Begovic. He was a fan.
He was the biggest
And we set up, while I was there, we set up an Iqbal chair at the University of Sarajevo.
Oh, that's excellent. I mean, and you know, that's wonderful. We need to highlight our heroes, our cultural heroes as well, as much as possible. Zara, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when I say colorful cultural events? Right question to the right person.
fashion shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure you must have had lots when you were
Yes, when we were
different
traveling.
countries.
Yeah, yeah.
And that also is the perfect occasion to highlight our culture through our dresses.
Of course. Through these things we can, of course, showcase our culture and how we are. Because they think Pakistani women, they are like, they know nothing. But during, and the best part is everybody, you know, love to attend that. From foreign ministers to president to prime minister, everybody.
You know, there's something, and I'm sure.
And of course, our food.
Of course,
Yeah.
the food is wonderful. You know,
Cuisine.
the thing that I've always seen when I've interviewed ambassadors over the years, and Jauhar sahab would agree, when a person is abroad, they have a very different image of Pakistan, which is mostly not positive, and that is where the role of all of you comes in to highlight what, how beautiful Pakistan is as a country. But at the same time, when the person comes to Pakistan, and the whole perspective of our country changes over the months.
Yes.
I'm not joking, I've had ambassadors who I interviewed for their farewell visit, they were crying because they were leaving Pakistan. This literally, because they say
you're
Pakistan
absolutely right.
loves you, Pakistan takes you in its arms
and
and
we are very
hugs you and
welcoming.
doesn't let you
Yeah,
go,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
That is what Pakistan is.
So it's so unfortunate, to be honest, that so much of our cultural heritage has been literally expropriated by India, because the world now knows Bhangra as an Indian sort of, you
No,
know,
it's
like
not.
music.
It's not.
It is Pakistan. I mean, we have the bigger part of Punjab, and Bhangra is very much a Pakistani thing. Similarly, so many other facets of our culture, like poetry and arts, and like you know, like music, and that have you know, they're projected it as their own. And why have they been able to do that? Because we didn't do a good job of that. And I think that is why cultural diplomacy is so important. Because Pakistan's brand now, you know, it is too hard. You know, I mean, in a world where you need to have softer brands, in a world where, you know, countries which are known as very cultured and sort of, you know, which kind of countries which are known as peace lovers and which are known as sort of, you know, like very suave and sort of, you know, and very much into fashion and all these things. And we in Pakistan are. But
And much more. There's so much more to us that people
Exactly.
need to understand and explore. We are beautiful people and we are extremely cultural people and very talented in different fields as well.
Definitely.
All right, let's move on with the question and answer session. Entertaining TV dramas. First thing that comes to your mind.
I just finished Adolescence.
Okay, it's not an entertaining
It's
TV drama.
entertaining for some people.
I've watched that too.
Actually,
he told me that,
yeah.
in fact, in the last interview with you, I was watching.
I think Zer Zabar Pesh
Okay,
and 50-50
50-50.
and
Aangan Teda.
Aangan Teda, the classics,
Ankahi.
they still make me laugh.
They were
That's-
so well
they were
written and
so
acted.
good. They were so good. Some of those skits I would still do, and they would still be relevant, by the way. They're also very ahead of their time.
Yes, oh, they were. Even
Very ahead of-
50-50 is even today very ahead of
relevant,
its time.
very
And by the way, once again, we have to think why we are not on Netflix that much. When
But that is a whole discussion that we'll have in one of my shows, other shows. This one, because we are going to go in a totally different tangent, and I know exactly why we are not that much on Netflix. Usman, coming to you, legendary Pakistani musician, first thing that comes to your mind.
There's far too many, but obviously there is the Maha-Atma of our music, which is Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. There is a story that not many people know about this, but it is very powerful. When he went in the late 80s, 1988, to Tokyo for the concert there, imagine from a Japanese person's perspective what you were seeing. There is this large booming voice and an Asiatic looking man. He had more Far Eastern features than South. And he's singing these magical sutras and hypnotizing everybody. They thought, as God was their witness, that this is the singing Buddha. This is some magical stuff. So as we're talking of soft power, the very fact that they felt something very deep in their own history from seeing that revelation, so there's no
You know, you
comparison
talk
to
to Nusrat
that.
Fateh Ali Khan. My father was the one who introduced him abroad. He used to take him to the 14th August parades that Pakistan used to have at one time, and therein he has introduced Nusrat Fateh, therein he has introduced Abda Parveen. So these people, love us so much as kids of my father that Abda Parveen, whenever I meet her, it's so embarrassing sometimes. She just comes and she kisses my hand. She says, "You are the son of a beautiful person." I mean, this is something that also is part of our culture.
Yes.
The respect that we have, and I think that also shows through the Eid and through the gatherings that we have, through the Eid that people give to others. Jauhar Sahab.
But what your father has done is a great national service, because Nusrat Fateh Khan is somebody, whether you are rich or you're poor, whether you're old or you're young, male or female, it's universally
It's universal.
acclaimed.
And I think Nusrat Fateh Khan is one of the champions, but there are so many others. Even as folk artists, I've seen so many singers, Suraya Multanikar, we've seen Abda Parveen. Even Madam Noor Jahan
Yes.
was an icon for Pakistan.
Absolutely.
As far as, the person that has, when you think of music, one of the people that come to our mind is that Sabiha Khan was a very good musician. People don't know that.
Absolutely.
Anyways, next question to you, and that is, first thing that comes to your mind when I say bursting markets in Rawalpindi.
Bursting market. The food.
Could be a food market, could be
yeah.
any market. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when I say that? Yani a place bursting with people and aura and energy that Eid also represents so much chant art specifically.
So I'm very bad with names, but there's that very big bazaar that happens in Pindi. I'm very bad with names, but it is like, it's like a whole thing. There's food over there as well, and there's like, like bangles, and it's not especially on Eid. It's very it's lit up and all, but I've totally forgotten the name. So
Okay, but as long as you remember what it represents, that's very important.
I've been there a couple of times myself, but I'm just forgetting the name. But it's like a whole, like everything is going on. There's like, there are mehndi artists sitting over there. There are bangles. There's music playing. There's food
That is
and
so
all
good.
of that.
Even, for example, Lok Visa has a very busting environment when it comes to their festivals as well. I saw Jauhar Sahab on his phone. He must have been looking at all the answers that he can give to the questions that I'm going to ask him.
There's no right or wrong answer.
Okay, let me explore a bit of Pakistan with you and let's see if you remember. Serene lakes of Gilgit-Baltistan, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Oh, Shangri-La.
Shangri-La. Oh, you've been there.
I've been there.
I think Hunza, Gilgit these are beautiful places.
And Naltar is,
Yes.
these are some of the most beautiful places. In fact, a lot of people in Europe have asked me that why has Pakistan not been able to showcase such beautiful natural assets that they have? Because quite frankly, Switzerland, the highest peak in Switzerland is probably the same height as the highest road that we have in Pakistan. The highest level of Karakoram Highway is actually close to the height of that.
True.
I mean, the mountains that we have are just majestic. The valleys that we have in the north of Pakistan
beautiful. Even the palaces that we have in different parts of Pakistan are beautiful. Taxila is so reminiscent of the culture that we used to have it on some. Mohenjo-daro is again one part that we need to highlight more and more. People need to come here to understand what civilization used to be hundreds and thousands of years ago. And Pakistan has so many areas that the people can explore that aspect. Zara, coming to you, I'm not going to let Jauhar Sahab take over this show. I want everybody to, and Jauhar Sahab has this knack of, talking and explaining everything. And this is I've seen in his shows as well. And you get immersed in it and then you say, oh my God, the time has passed. So Zara, without further ado, when I say Multani vibrant markets, what is the first thing that comes to you?
But I know, I have heard about it, Multani mud mask, I don't know.
Well, no, Multani
mangoes.
pottery.
Mangoes are very famous. Yes.
Mangoes, Pakistan. Oh,
Yes.
how can you forget all the ambassadors?
And the jewelry as well.
The
Jewelry, I have heard about it.
Jewelry as well.
The specific blue and white color of their pottery as well.
Yeah.
I think that is also
Yeah.
very exquisite, I feel, as far as Multan is concerned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of this little small question and answer session. We have to go to a break. We'll be back to entertain you with some music. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Eid Mubarak, everybody who's watching us on PTV World. I'm, of course, Omar Khalid Butt, and we have been having lots of fun in the segment that was happening before we went on a break. But now we thought, let's add some music to it. Music is, elevates the soul to a whole new level. It's the food for soul. A lot of people say that. So I thought, why not have some music and maybe some jugalbandi in that context. So we will begin with our first musician. Well, he is a musician and he's also much more than that. Usman, Dr. Usman Chohan is also a musician and he plays the sitar very well. I got to know that because in all of the different interviews that I've had with him, he just laid it out once, and that I said, oh, I'm going to take advantage of that one of these days. And the Eid show came and I said, Usman, I'm already booking you. I told him before Ramzan started, I said, Usman, you will come to my Eid show and you're going to play the sitar on my Eid show. He said, fine. And this is the promise that he kept. Usman, what are you going to play for us?
I thought that something festive would work for our Eid function today. And there's a particular rag that I really like. It's called Bhim Palasi. Bhim Palasi is a spring rag. It's a daytime, early rag. And it's one that gives you the sense of flowers and festiveness. And I think that's a good one. I will not do a full peshkar. I will just do a portion of the introductory phase of a peshkar called an alap.
Go ahead. Mashallah, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. It's, music, it immerses you in a whole different environment or universe, let's put it that way. And we all have very different experiences when we listen to a certain piece of music. And that is what I feel is the strength of good music. It takes you to places you might have never imagined you could have gone to. We want to play as much music as possible. I did request my next musician, Natasha. Natasha, before, I would like you to sing something as well. Natasha, for all of you viewers, has been singing since I don't know how many, since I know her. And she sung for our theatre plays as well. She sung differently. And now she has the albums. Go on Spotify, look for Natasha Humera Ejaz, and you'll see the number of views and the number of followers that she has. Natasha, what are you going to play for us?
This is a song. It's called Ek Din.
Okay.
It's in Urdu.
Okay.
That's okay, right?
Of course.
I think the lyrics will speak for themselves, but I have a very particular brand of I want to make the world a happier place. And I go through a lot of stuff in life, but I don't write the dark songs. I like come out of the dark time and I write, okay, how do I transmutate this into something that's useful for the world? So this is Ek Din. Okay. एक दिन आएगा पाएगी तू पनाह एक दिन दुख भरी इस रात को इस बात को भूलेगी तू सदा एक दिन आएगा जब खुदा आएगा तेरे दिल में वो देखे दुआ जाएगा एक दिन आएगा मेरी जान एक दिन आएगा मेरी जान एक दिन. This one's important, okay? कतरा कतरा बनती है जिस नदिया की धार उस नदिया की धार से सुन तो ख्वाब बुन होने को हो जाएगा सब कुछ मेरे यार जिंदगी से हार के सुन तू प्यार चुन एक दिन आएगा जब खुदा आएगा तेरे दिल में वो देके दुआ जाएगा एक दिन मेरी जान एक दिन आएगा मेरी जान एक दिन. So just hang in there, guys.
Very nice.
Hang in there.
Very nice.
One day.
It's very sweet. It's very uplifting tempo.
Yeah, really
And a very jazzy side to it as well. And that's what I. You can put the sitar down, Usman. We are going to use it in the very last minutes of the show. And I'm going to ask my producer if we could end today's show with the both of my musicians working in tandem, and then we could, tell how music unites musicians and people across the world as well. But let's move to a game before we that, and then we'll end it with a piece of music. Okay, so you all have cards that say yes or no. I'm going to ask you questions, specific questions. You have to immediately say. We have to not waste a single second. You have to say whether yes or no. Don't think about it. We'll begin with you, Zara.
Okay.
Zara, never have I pretended to laugh at a joke I did not understand. Yeah, good. Okay, Jauhar Saab, never have I ever sung in the shower and slipped. Okay, yes, okay. Usman, never have I ever tried to take a cool selfie and failed miserably. Okay, we all have gone through that phase, I can assure you of that. Natasha, never have I ever blamed technology for my own mistake. For example, the computer deleted, I was not the one behind it. Okay, okay, chalo. Okay.
I own up to my mistakes.
Okay.
I wanted to delete it.
Okay, Quratulain, never have I ever waved at someone who wasn't waving at me. Okay. Zara, never have I ever lied about my age. No, that's the spirit. Although a lot of people do that. Never have I ever, Jauhar Saab, never have I ever snooped through someone else's phone. No, Jauhar, oh, you're a very sweet guy, Jauhar Saab. Okay, I would have been very inquisitive. Usman, never have I ever kept a secret I promised not to. Oh, okay. Tasha, never have I ever cheated in a game, even just a little. Yes, you have. No? I knew that. Kurat, never have I ever faked being sick to skip something. That is so typical. We've all done that. Zara, coming to you. Never have I ever gotten lost and pretended I wasn't. This happens to me a lot. Thanks to Google Maps, I can now, go to places and understand. Jauhar Saab, never ever eaten something weird just to impress someone. You must have. You've been in so many countries, and sometimes you have to eat things that you don't.
As diplomats, you have to.
What's the weirdest thing you've eaten?
Frog's legs.
But
That is
impressive.
weird. Have you had those too?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
you
was a
at
formal.
places, sometimes
What
you
is-
have to eat things. Acha, okay, Usman. Never have I ever argued with Google Maps or Siri.
Oh, yeah. I argue all the time.
Don't tell me that. This is not what I want. Tasha, never have I ever cried during a kids movie.
Oh, all the time.
So do I,
Just like, yes.
Kids movie are the
Yeah.
most emotional.
Yeah.
I remember a
Meant for.
dinosaur movie that I said,
Land Before Time?
Land Before
Land
Time.
Before Time.
With the dinosaurs. Oh, it made me cry. It still makes me cry
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
baby.
yeah.
Okay, Kurat, never have I ever danced like nobody was watching, and then I realized somebody actually was.
I get embarrassed.
Okay, Zara, never have I ever sent a text to the wrong person. Oh, I have,
Diplomat's wife.
and sometimes I've been so ashamed of doing that. Wrong, there are so many but same names, and
No,
sometimes
I've
you
been very
inadvertently
careful.
send the wrong message to the wrong person, and that creates issues. Jauhar Saab, never have I ever secretly judged someone's cooking, but ate it anyways.
Was it your frog legs?
This happened on multiple occasions.
All right, Usman, never have I ever had a crush on a television or a cartoon character.
Oh.
On Omar.
Okay. Tasha, never have I ever missed a flight or a train or a bus.
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah.
You have. Everybody does that.
Yeah, but
I've missed
like,
flights sometimes.
I think it happened once and I was like, never again!
Okay. Kurat, this, could happen to you as well. Never have I ever slept through an alarm for something important. The snooze button
Keep on
is,
pressing
you keep on pressing.
snooze,
Okay,
yeah.
so before we go to the music, we wanted to do another game, that is guess the object. I'm going to give, all of you have to guess the object within less than a minute. Okay, I'm even going to give you 2 hints. The first object is something that you shield yourself with, and it is used for safety purposes. What is it? Anybody can answer. We have less than a
car.
minute. Huh?
A car.
No. It's used for safety purposes, and you shield yourself with it.
Is it a jacket in winter?
No. Safety purposes. The
Hypothermia.
clock is ticking. Jauhar Saab.
Helmet.
Yes. Perfect. Jauhar Saab, I'm impressed. Okay, the next word is, okay, this associates itself with the education system, with signaling as well, and sometimes with alarms. What is it?
A red light?
Traffic light,
Education.
education system. What all was it?
Education, signaling, and sometimes alarms.
Oh, a bell.
Yes, you got it. Good one. Tasha 1, Jauhar Saab 1. Okay, I'm going to keep into account who said. Okay, this thing is hot. This thing, if I say the next word, you're going to know it. This thing is specifically for clothes.
Iron.
Of course.
Tasha, you move to. Okay. Popcorn, entertainment, huge. First thing that comes to
Cinema.
mind.
Cinema.
Yes. Oh, everybody we got one, gets 1 point here. That's interesting. We need to have more here. Cutting, chopping, working. Yes. I didn't even have to answer. You're becoming the leader here as far as this is concerned.
Yeah.
Okay. Annoying, itches, buzz.
Mosquito.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's a tie between Jauhar Sahib and you, Tasha. Okay. Security car locks
Security car.
and locks. What they do?
Remote.
No.
Security.
System. Alarm system.
No.
Locks.
Camera.
No.
Mobile.
Car.
No. Security car and
GPS?
locks. No.
GPS and
It's
locks.
simpler than that. Sure, let's
Key.
see. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had to
thank
move
you.
you in the right direction. Okay.
Smart girl.
This is too easy. Okay. This thing, a doctor uses it and it is used for diagnosis.
Stethoscope.
Stethoscope.
There could be multiple things.
It could. If I say the next word, you'll know it. Okay. It sees bones.
X-ray.
Yes. So that is why I didn't want you to because. Okay. Last. Discipline on the road
Police.
and prevents accidents.
Traffic police.
No.
Discipline on the road. Traffic
Seatbelt?
light.
Huh?
Seatbelt?
No.
Signals.
Discipline on
Traffic
the road.
lights.
Traffic, yeah?
Traffic lights.
Yes, traffic lights. Correct. You got the first answer right.
No, second one.
Second, oh,
Mosquito one.
God, I stand corrected.
She also said signals, so I think this is a
This is
three-way
yeah.
split.
Chalo,
Yeah.
one for the
One
both of
for
them.
both
I'm going to
sides.
ask producer. I'm going to ask 2 more questions, and then we're going to move to the music. Okay? My producer said all right. So my producer is Matthew Rehman, ladies and gentlemen, and he's a wonderful, wonderful producer, and he has a team has been behind this the Eid's transmission that you have been watching, and of course my Eid show as well.
Veteran.
All right. This one is very easy. Music, strings, hands.
Guitar.
Guitar.
Of course.
I should have. I should have. I should have.
It could be sitar or sort of guitar.
Okay.
So
Wax,
yeah. So
birthdays, light.
Candle.
Candle.
Yes. Wonderful. Okay. Last one. Green, played with sticks.
golf,
No.
Dream.
Green,
green,
played with sticks.
hockey,
No.
Green.
I wanted to be more ambiguous. That is why I use this one as the last.
green,
Tennis.
No.
No.
played with
Table
sticks.
tennis.
Let's do another one because this is going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. We do the last one. Sea animal, 8 legs, squishy.
Octopus.
Yes.
Everybody
Okay.
guessed that.
All right. Now I'm going to ask Usman and Tasha while we go to our credits to do something together.
Football game.
Let's do something.
Okay, so thank you very much to the both of you. I think you did that impromptu because you didn't know each other before this very show. And ladies and gentlemen, that is what music is, you know. It binds people who don't know each other. And the universal language of music, the universal language of culture is also that. And that is what our ambassadors have been doing. That is what so many of our musicians have been doing. And this is what we need to do. Spread the love and also spread the message that Pakistan is such a beautiful country. And Eid is a beautiful instance that you have to come here and witness for yourself on what Pakistan and how Pakistan celebrates it. Usman Chohan, thank you very much to have joined us. Dr. Usman, W. Chohan. And Jauhar Saleem Saab, thank you very much. Zara, what a pleasure to see you for the first time, and what
Thank
a
you so
wonderful
much.
interaction we've had. I hope this will be the first of many.
I would like to, can I say something?
Say something.
On this blessed Eid day, so forget all the grudges and then be happy to each other.
I think this is what
Yeah.
Eid represents, also happiness. We
Yeah.
need to be happy, we need to spread that joy
Yes,
and happiness
happiness.
amongst
Yes, of course.
everybody around
Yeah.
us. All right, that is a good message.
Yeah.
Natasha, thank you very much. Natasha, Humera, Ejaz, ladies and gentlemen.
All three of us.
I think our mothers will be reeling very happy, up there, they will be smiling on us today.
100%.
And Quratulain, thank you very much, Quratulain. Chaudhary, ladies and gentlemen, what a wonderful person you are.
Thank you so
and,
much.
Keep on, spreading the love amongst the women of Pakistan and keep on strengthening them as individuals as well. Thank you to all of my guests. And I'd like to join in unison in ending the show by wishing all of Pakistan, all across the world, those who are celebrating a joyous Eid Mubarak. Allah Hafiz, everyone.
Allah Hafiz.